Glassware and whiskey is a hotly debated topic, and I have 7 pieces of glassware here. I'm going to tell you which one I like best and which one I think you should buy. Stay tuned after the break and we'll talk about it. So quick disclaimer here, if this is exclusively what you drink out of, this video is probably not for you. You're currently using this and looking for something else, maybe something that'll help you to pick out distinctive flavors. This video is absolutely for you. Please stay tuned. We will go through all 7 of these, tell you what I like, what I don't like. I'm going to give you a nose, a palate, and a ultimate rating of which one of these I like best. Some of these I haven't even tried before. If you want to buy any of these, the Amazon links will be in the description. I do have an affiliate link, so that will give me a small portion of the proceeds of that, but it won't cost you any extra. This is part of our Christmas series. We already did 10 bottles that are can't miss gifts, so check that out. It'll be right here. So if you're looking for some glassware to give the whiskey enthusiast in your life, that's what this video is for. So we're gonna start from squatty and get taller. So this is the Kenzie Glass. This is special thanks to my friend Dave, Uncle Dave as I affectionately refer to him. I have seen them on the whiskey trail, and if you can't tell, this is a Buffalo Trace Glen. The thing that I don't like about it is the bottom. It's hard to hold. I know a lot of people say if you hold like this, it warms up the whiskey, evaporates that alcohol, and it kind of creates a less good experience. I somewhat subscribe to that. Plus, the more that you handle this, the smudgier the glass is, and I don't like that in the ADHD portion of my brain. But otherwise, generally this kind of, they call it tulip shape, where it's flared at the base, smaller in the nose, helps to condense the vapors in the alcohol and give you a better experience. This is a little bit less tapered than some of the other ones on this list. Things that I like, it is decently easy to hold. It's small, and I like that. When you set it down, it sets down flat, and it has a stable base like that. Let's see what it actually gives you in a whiskey experience, and then we'll let you know from there. All of these have this whiskey in it, partly because I'm trying to kill that. It has been around for entirely too long, and I would like to get rid of it. But I also wanted something that was a middling proof, so this is a 115 proof. Let's see what this smells like. A lot of vanilla initially off of this. A little bit of proof, got kind of like a fluffer nutter thing kind of going on. Not a lot of ethanol. The nose, I think, is where all of these are going to differ a fair amount. The nose of a whiskey and how it contains those vapors, I think, is a big portion of what the nose is like and what these glassware can bring. The palate is going to be pretty much the same, although I have noticed that certain glasses give you a different ethanol kick. So that's one of the things that we'll be testing throughout here, how much ethanol is present on the palate. So without any further ado, cheers. A little bland, a little bit more proof on there, not a whole lot. It's got some cherry going on. It's got a little bit of vanilla still. This is their neat glass. It's solid. I think this is a good glass. I'm interested to see how it compares to the rest of them. I'm going to move on. This is the Aged and Ore. And incidentally, one of the things that I like about it is it's heavy. It has a very stable base. It's got a rocks glass kind of feel with a little bit of a flared or tempered tulip shape to it. It does have a large nose so that you can put an ice cube in here if you want. The Kenzie, you cannot. Again, in order to hold it, you are holding directly, warming up this whiskey. In theory, you're also smudging it, which I just did here, and I kind of hate that. So we're going to see what a nose is like. Here goes. Still not a lot of ethanol in the nose. I think maybe the nose on this is a little bit more nutty. It's going to seem stupid that I do this. I was a skeptic at first when I first got my Glens, but nosing is a different experience between different glasses. And if you are part of the Rocks Glass crowd and you're still watching this for some reason, you can go ahead and at me, but I think a reasonable amount of people would be able to smell differences between all of these glasses. And that's a big part of choosing your glassware. So the nose on this one, I think, is a little bit better than the Kenzie. Let's see how it tastes. Okay, so on the palate, that's hotter. The Kenzie had a little bit bland of a palate. This one is a bit more vibrant. It has a little bit more of that proof. It has a little bit more cherry, a little bit more rye spice to it. It's a little bit more, I would say, awakened. I think I'm getting more of the true flavor of the whiskey out of this. The proof is present. I don't think it's too much, though. I think it's right around where it should be. The Aged and Ore glass is great, especially for travel. We've got these travel kits that have a glass that can fit in it, and then you can put a 3-ounce sample bottle in here. They are fantastic. I definitely recommend those, even if it's just for travel. They are my travel glass of choice. All right, so standard rocks glass. This one's just a lead-free off the shelf rocks glass. I've had these for a long time, and I really like the etching in them. It's heavy. It's easy to hold. Obviously, these are thick. You're not really, I mean, they're thick enough that I'm not worried about warming up the whiskey. It's no frills. It's not doing anything with the whiskey. You can put an ice cube in it. You can make cocktails in it. It's easy for all of those things. It's versatile. I always have some of these on hand, even if they're not my primary method. I think they're great for people who need ice or just want to do cocktails a good portion of the time. We're going to nose it and give a little bit of that experience, and then we'll kind of talk about that. So sometimes with high proof whiskey on rocks glasses, you can get a really hot nose. On this, I get all but nothing. It's not guiding those vapors to my nose. It's just kind of open air, like not a whole lot. Like I can get a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of ethanol, but there's not much else to that. And I think that's a lot of why some people can't get anything off of whiskey, is because they're using rocks glasses expecting to get a nose off of it, and you're just not. Let's see what it tastes like. It is significantly hotter than the Aged Ore. There's not a whole lot else to it. I think the tulip shape also helps to kind of guide some of that ethanol and keep it recycled, whereas this, it's just like it's uncompressed. This I would have guessed is probably closer to 120 out of this glass. Rocks glass, good for a lot of things. I don't think necessarily whiskey tasting. Like if you are sitting down trying to enjoy a pour, I don't think a rocks glass is something that's going to really help you do that. All right, next we've got the Norlan Glass. This one is double walled. It has a tulip shape. You just can't see it. The clear ones are easier to see. You can still see the whiskey. You can also tell how much you've poured. I have no clue how much I put in this because it's black. It is double walled, so no matter where I hold it, it is keeping the heat off of the whiskey, and I like that. Before I tell you what I don't like about it, I'm going to actually experience it to see if what I remember is still valid. So here goes. Cheers. The nose is very sweet on this. It's not as complex as it was with the Aged Ore glass. Very little ethanol, similar to the rocks glass, so I can get my nose like all the way in there. I'm honestly getting vanilla and not much else. Let's see what it tastes like. Cheers. Weird on the palate. It's almost like it accentuates the rye spice portion of it. Not much of the sweetness that I've experienced on some of the other glasses. Now that I've taken a couple sips out of it, there are some things that I don't like about it. One, I don't think it's a significant upgrade over a rocks glass. It just doesn't have enough of a tulip shape on the inside to actually affect that. Also, it opens really wide at the top. You just can't see that. And then also, it's got a weird lip here. And that lip most often means that I'm drooling on myself. These are not my favorite thing. So if you're just looking for something to elevate from being a rocks glass, I think this is a little bit more fancy of a glass, but I don't think it actually brings anything to the table from the tasting aspect of it. Next, these globular pieces are the Libbey Kentucky Bourbon Trail glasses. I have a 4-pack of these. They are very big, very open. I have heard people on the internet say that these are the best glasses for high proof whiskey. Don't think I agree with that, but we'll talk about that in a second. Things that I like the nub. I am used to Glens. I'm used to being able to hold them like this, so you can hold these without warming up the whiskey. The globe, I think, is pretty good looking. I like just the faintly flared at the top. It does have a large base and a large opening, so I think you could put ice in this if you wanted to. I have not tasted these in a while, so before passing judgment on this one, I also do want to experience the nose and palate. So here goes. Cheers. Vanilla, I get a little bit of fruit off of this one. Still not a whole lot else. I think you can get your nose really far in there. Cherry vanilla marshmallow can get a little bit of proof. Let's see how the taste out of it goes. Okay, good balance there. Chocolate for the first time out of any of these. I'm getting a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of cherry, a little bit of vanilla. There's not a lot of ethanol on the palate out of this one. Bear in mind, this is all the same whiskey. Like I poured all of this out of the 1920 bottle. Like, there's nothing different about any of these. It's purely the glassware making the difference here. It balances the sweet and the spicy well. Like, you can tell this is a 115 proof whiskey. This tastes the most Brown-Forman-y that I've gotten so far. I think this is going to end up pretty high on our list. But we've got to get there. So we got 2 left. I pretty much exclusively use the Glens, and part of that is price. Things that I like about it, it has the nub. I can hold it by this. I don't hold them like this because it smudges and I hate that. I can kind of hold here. It's got kind of a natural area for my hands. I can swirl it. Swirling for me helps accentuate the nose experience. So this is my, I think, gold standard. Let's see how the smell is in comparison to the others. Okay, so vanilla, butterscotch, cherry, a little bit of the proof on there. It's still not much. It's got a little bit of leather, a little bit of rye spice there. So the nose, I think, is the truest to what I feel like this whiskey is, probably because I've tasted exclusively out of these. There's not too much ethanol. There's, I think, a well-balanced amount of everything in this. So on the nose, I like this a lot. Let's see how the taste compares to the others. So chocolate, definitely on the palate of this one. It's not as vanilla, but it's like brown sugar, cherry, chocolate. And then there's a fair amount of proof on there, but it's not like too spicy. It's not spicy like the Rocks Glass was. I think the sweet notes aren't as, the middle vanilla notes that I've gotten out of, especially these two so far, aren't here, but I think it's got a broader palate to it. So that is the Glencairn Glass. This is the Copita Glass. It is more like a wine or beer chalice. Things that I like about it, it is stemmed. So this is the only stemmed glass on our list. There are stemmed Glencairns. They are stupid expensive. It is very light. It's got the full tulip. It's a big glass, so if you want to put a lot in it or if you want to switch to wine, it is versatile in those aspects. It's very satisfyingly swirly, partly because I think the base gives it a lower center of gravity, therefore swirling more effectively. None of that really matters here. Let's see how it smells in comparison to the others. Vanilla, a little bit of proof, some cherry. The leather is, I think, a little bit more heavy out of this one. Proof is similar to the Glencairn. Let's see how the taste goes. Whew, that is the spiciest one yet. It's full of chocolate and rye spice. There's not a whole lot of the vanilla. There's not a lot of brown sugar. It is faintly sweet at the beginning, and then it's like almost astringent chocolate, like a nice dark chocolate. It has the most ethanol out of any of them. It's faintly nutty. All right, so we've tasted all of these. We've nosed all of them. We are going by the cheapest. I think these, aside from the Rocks Glass, are probably the cheapest. The Kenzie Glasses, I think you can get for like $2 a piece if you buy them on the Webstaurant store and want 36 of them for $82. They're definitely not my first choice for an actual whiskey tasting experience. The Aged Nor are great, especially the travel aspect of them. They are fantastic for that. They are expensive. They're about $22 a piece, but I actually think they give you a similar experience to what the Glens are, and they're a little bit thicker. They're a little bit heavier. They feel a little bit more premium maybe. So if that's what you're looking for in an upgrade from a Rocks Glass, this is probably what you want. I don't know what to say about the Rocks Glass except for it's cheap, it's efficient, it's versatile, but it's not going to actually elevate your experience. The Norlans, I would probably not buy at all. I don't think they elevate your experience at all other than being fancier. And they're like $32 a piece, so I'm pretty sure they are the most expensive off of this list. And I just don't like what that gets you personally. If you like the look, if you like the ability to put a ice cube in there, go for it. But to me, it's not at all something I would buy. These Libbey glasses are actually on an Amazon deal right now. They are 4 for $24, so they're 6 a piece. They're normally $40. And I think they are the closest to Glens that were on this list. I've recently tasted out of these at a local bar. Shout out to the Cat's Meow in Mannheim. Tyler does great work, has a great bourbon selection. So if you're in the Lancaster area, check out the Cat's Meow. For what people generally don't like about Glens, these Libbey Kentucky Bourbon Trail glasses, I think, fix a lot of that. If you're looking for these, they're on Amazon sale. Link is in the description. The Copita Glass here, they're a little bit more expensive. They're a little bit winier. They're a little bit, I think, probably more versatile than the Glens, although I've seen people drink wine out of Glens and not complain about it. These are not my favorite. I think ultimately none of these sway me from my first love, which is the Glencairn. It's hard to beat through the experience and the cheapness of them. If you get a 6-pack, I think they're like $36, which brings them down to like 6 a piece. So if you want to buy somebody a tasting glass, I would definitely recommend these Glencairns. If you hate Glencairns and you need something else that you can put ice in, I think my second favorite is these Libbeys. So there you go. You like any of these specifically and you want to die on that hill, I would love to hear your argument for any of these glasses or a different one. If there's a different glass than these 7 that you'd like to put, drop that in the comments. Check out our merch store for stuff like this. This is our brand new Santa Glen shirt. It's only available for a limited time. Link is in the description for our merch store. We've got Glens, we've got hats, we've got shirts. We've got stickers. Check it out. If you want to join, we have memberships here on YouTube. The link is in the description. I've recently found out that you can't actually join if you're on mobile, but the link is there so that now you can. We now have a Patreon page. We have a sticker club and a sample club. If you want to check out what that looks like, the Patreon link is also in the description. If you like this content, check out our other videos. Please like and comment on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And we hope you'll join us in drinking like a gentleman. Cheers. So if that's what you're looking for in an upgrade from a rocks glass, this will get you there. Shit.